Well, according to the headline, which says direct primary produced Buhari in 2019 without a crisis. Yes, and that is what it is. In 2019, Buhari, successfully won the second term presidential election in Nigeria. Elder statesman Anthony Sani has said that if direct primary which produced President Muhammadu Buhari in 2019 did not bring about any crisis, then the Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami might not have predicted rightly to say there would have been crisis if the president had assented to the electoral bill. According to him, we have reacted to the advice by the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, which seemed to have informed President Buhari's letter to the National Assembly on why he withheld assent to the Electoral Amendment Bill of 2021. We have said the reasons given in the letter dwelled more on fears that and it's a real advantage of direct primary in enhancement of internal democracy in a political parties. So by saying the amendment as presented will bring about a crisis does not make it so, considering the direct primary which produced President Muhammadu Buhari in 2019 did not bring about any crisis. The refusal by the president to assent the electoral amendment bill contained in the president's letter to NAS has surprised many Nigerians for two reasons. President Buhari was who insisted on direct primary by his party in 2019 and subjected himself to the direct primary will while state governors under APC refused and conducted their own party primary using indirect primary. As a result, many legislators under APC and some of us thought it was for direct primary and mobilized for its support in the hope of enhancing internal democracy in the political parties. For the president to now turn against a direct primary has turned many Nigerians, especially his supporters who have been on the same page with him on this matter. The second surprise is that the fact that the refusal to assent the Electoral Amendment Bill of 2021 conveys the avoidable impression that the ruling APC has no position on this major aspect of law that governs our electoral processes, considering the ruling party APC controls both the executive and the National Assembly. A refusal of the assent to the bill gives an impression that the government is at war with itself. The president's letter to the National Assembly has also ignored the important advantages of direct primary, which includes improvement of internal democracy of the political parties by doing away with power and abuse of incumbency of governors and money bags who deploy their powers and hijack delegates during indirect primary. Rather, the president's letter has dwelled so much on fear to the charge of advantages of direct primary. For example, the security challenges have been around for quite some times in Nigeria, and there have been a reduction of insecurity under this regime by the day under this regime. Yet there have been general elections where more people participate in voting in this country. Yes, when the letter talks of high cost of direct primary, it feigns ignorance of the fact that direct primary takes place either at polling unit level or ward level by only registered party members who are far fewer than registered voters, and that any other exercise is a matter of a collation for the relevant constituency, such as a state assembly, a chairman of a local government, house of reps, senate, government, or governor rather, president. The exercise of a direct party primary could not possibly be more than that of the general elections. What is more, INEC has said it, that the needs that 305 billion naira for elections against the 500 billion naira being bandied about to frighten the government away from direct primary. When if smaller parties do not have the wherewithal to compete under our nonsense multi-party democracy, they are at liberty to merge with the big political parties. After all, the nation is open to have only two major political parties and not a crowd by way of a number of political parties. After all, the high fees charged for nomination form by progressive party like APC has been designed to reduce the number of aspirants to a manageable level. Violation of citizens' rights must be seen in proper context. Individual rights is never absolute. For example, the president will not roll back mandates for face masks and vaccination just because there are some people who say such mandates constitute infringement on citizens' rights. The issue of likely litigation does not hold water precisely because if any law by political party conflicts with that of the nation, like electoral act, the federal government or the federal law would prevail definitely. Consultations with stakeholders is good for the health of democracy. Yet it is not good for our democracy for the president to give any impression that other vested interests have or under the constitutional functions of the National Assembly. I am not in support of the notion that NAS should override the president. Such course of action would signal division within the government that is controlled by the ruling APC. That would not be healthy. I would rather prefer both the executive and the majority of APC legislators to go back to the drawing board and sort out their differences with a view to coming out with a common position in order to justify the clear mandate given by Nigerians to the APC controlled government to deliver on the promise of a multi-party democracy. Like he said, well, it's I don't know. This is so very very not realistic, or let me say this is like changing the narrative, because when President Muhammadu Buhari is being voted for in 2019, there was no crisis. Yes, I said there was no crisis, and you can attest to that. Because if you tell me there were crises, and come 2023, there should be crisis according to Malami. That means Malami is just trying to change the narratives by himself, by giving a wrong impression to whoever wants to venture into politics, or rather want to become the presidency, or want to venture into presidency, or want to become the president. Because if Buhari in 2019 was successfully elected and voted for, and come 2023, you're saying there will be crisis, and there was no crisis then. So where is the crisis coming from, except you they want to bring the crisis? Because when you are overseeing 2023 as there being going to be crisis, that means the chaos has been going on in Nigeria. Yes, I would say from your word, it's still buttressing that you are behind the insecurity in the country, because of the genocide policy that you are giving to the citizens of Nigeria. This is so absurd.